Thank you for taking the time and giving your most precious resource to us today, your time, to be here today. And thank you for coming to the first meeting in 2014 of the Williamson Chamber. So as we begin, just like we do every month, I'd like to invite Father Joe with the Holy Family Church to give the invocation. And please remain standing for the Pledge of Allegiance after that. Father Joe.
Let us pray. Heavenly Father, we thank you for all that you give us, for in truth, all that we are and have are gifts from you. We thank you at this time for our Williamson County community. We are grateful for all those persons committed to enhancing the life of our community, especially those who are present here today. We are also grateful for the leadership of our Chamber of Commerce. You have blessed us abundantly in Williamson County in so many ways. Please guide us in using the gifts you have given us. Please also help us to share our gifts with others, especially those less fortunate than ourselves. Amen.
Join me. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you, Father. Thank you, Father. Today we want to welcome and thank our membership meeting presenting sponsor, St. Thomas Health. We're thrilled and grateful that they are sponsor our meeting this year and their generous involvement with the Chamber. We couldn't do this without our sponsors, so we appreciate so much your investment both in the Chamber and the community in making Williamson County a better place to do business. I also want to start by thanking our guests today. We're delighted to have so many of our businesses in our county become part of the Chamber. And since we last met in November, 40 new members have become part of this organization. So we want to take this time to recognize them. They're seated at the new member table. Please let's give them a round of applause. I don't have to tell this group this. You guys are all great networkers, but that's the reason we're here, is to help each other grow their business, grow the economy. So make sure that you get a chance to talk to some of the new members and the members who have been a part of this organization for a long, long time. In addition to having St. Thomas as the sponsor for our presenting sponsor for our meeting, we also have two monthly program sponsors, Grace Point Health and Lipscomb University, both with tables in the back. Grace Point Health, in addition to providing these great syringes that are actually highlighters, they provide modern medicine the old-fashioned way. You need affordable health care for your family or employees, and really who doesn't these days? Their basic care smart plan is just $49 a month and includes unlimited office visits and free basic labs. They will see you the same day or the next day with personalized, no-rush care, no long wait times, and even do house calls. You can afford exceptional care at Grace Point Healthcare. So thank you, Grace Point, for being a part of this day today. In addition to Grace Point, and this is a great theme because the theme today is education. The College of Education at Lipscomb University, thank you for sponsoring it today. They have a long-standing tradition of excellence and integrity in teacher and leadership preparation programs, and we all know how important leadership is today, especially in this economy. Its commitment to quality and the performance of its graduates have recently garnered national recognition. The College of Education was highlighted as one of the top 4 teacher training programs in the nation on the 2013 National Council for Teacher Quality Report, and has consistently ranked as one of the most effective preparation programs in the Tennessee Higher Education Commission Teacher Training Program report cards. In 2012, the College of Education received a $1 million gift to establish the AIRS Institute for Teacher Learning and Innovation, committed to improving student outcomes statewide through proven professional learning for teachers and leaders and incubating innovative instructional ideas. The College of Education offers 15 graduate programs in 4 locations, including the Spark campus in Cool Springs. Please stop today afterwards. If you have interest in one of our sponsors, they'll be at the table and back. So with that, thank you. So those of us who were at the annual meeting in November, and especially to the people that are new to this organization or here checking us out for the first time, one of the things we talked about was different ways we're going to serve our members better. And the first tangible way we're doing that actually started today, this morning. If anybody had a chance to log into our website, williamsonchamber.com, you'll notice it's new. And I really want to give a special shout out and thank you to Journal Communications for all the hard work they did working with our staff to put together a first-class website. It's much easier. Yeah, absolutely. You guys did a fantastic job. It's easy to navigate. It's easy to find things. It's much cleaner. It's much simpler. We've got a great news section on the website, too. You can see what everybody's up to, what's happening in the community. There's even a place to actually go and look at sponsorships as well for the Chamber for 2014. And economic development, they did a fantastic job redoing the economic development part of the website. So really, it's really with you all in mind. It's a much easier way for you to get on, register events, find out what's going on, get the data you need to help grow your business in Williamson County. So I really can't thank Journal enough for the fantastic job they did, and of course Mark Cleveland's Swiftfoot Sox on our site to really make it first class. So let's take a step back, and this will be really more for people who are just checking out this Chamber of Commerce. When we went through our new branding process, it was more than just a logo. It was more than just a look. It was more than just a feel. It was really the fundamentals of what makes this economy work, what makes this chamber work, what makes your business work. Our mission is pretty simple: to take an innovative approach to building a prosperous business community. Our belief is that a strong business community equals a strong community. And it really is simple. It's about the fundamentals, the core values of the Chamber, leadership, education, community. And I'm thrilled that we're spending our first meeting of the year reaffirming what is the most important part of this county, and that's our public education system. That's the reason that people move here. It's the reason people relocate here. It's the reason why people and families grow here. And I think today's initiative is really about making sure that we provide an avenue for our great students and our great teachers to distinguish themselves from their peers and provide opportunities that wouldn't exist if not for your participation. You'll hear a lot more about that later from the superintendent. So I wanted to kind of take a step back from this and talk about why education matters. And I'm really going to look at more higher education. I'm going to talk more about what it means after you get a degree, and I'll save the great accolades and of our school system of Dr. Looney to talk about exactly what makes it such a special place. So why it matters. For those that are new here, I put really complicated charts up, and I apologize that I'm a data person, right? So this is going to take a while, and a lot of people probably can't see this, but this is a map of all the different metros in the United States. And on this map, you want to be in the top right-hand corner. What it shows is the percentage of people in your community that have a college degree, and it also shows how fast that's grown. So ideally, you want to have grown the fastest and be at the top of the list. So if you look at our peer cities we compete against, like Raleigh, North Carolina, Austin, Texas, you can see they're pretty high, they're pretty far to the right. In fact, Midland, Texas is the only area, so sad for Midland, that actually saw a reduction in the number of college graduates over the last few decades. So really what this shows is that if Williamson County had a bubble on this, we'd be at the top. The only community higher is Boulder, Colorado. 52% of our workforce has a bachelor's degree, higher than any of those other metro regions in the country. And if you've heard me talk before, this is the reason why we've been so successful as a community, because we have highly educated people that push their kids and that really make this a community a better place. And that's really where the jobs are headed in the 21st century. So some statistics now drilling down specifically to Williamson County. If you look at the unemployment area by educational attainment, you'll notice that if you have a bachelor's degree, you live in Williamson County, only 1.9% of the people with a bachelor's are unemployed. That's basically full employment. So I was talking with my table earlier, this is still a touch and go economy, and the best way that you can ensure that you have a job is to get a degree. So, not that you need to hear this, but stay in school, right? Everybody knows that. So this, I think, is probably the most interesting slide. stay with me for a second. This is actually census data, and if you look at the work-life earnings and you go to the left and the different degrees, pay particular attention to the high school graduate and the bachelor's degree. And you'll see in the next slides, what's the difference between a high school degree and a college degree? A little over $1 million over 40 years, just in terms of earnings. This is stuff we probably already know anyway, but this makes it even clearer. Again, it's that stay in school, educational attainment, how important that is. And I think it's not just about making money or having a salary, it's also poverty. And one of the ways out of poverty we know is through education. If you look at this next chart, you'll see that in Williamson County, less than 1% of the people in poverty have a bachelor's degree. So there's this absolute correlation, maybe not causation, but absolute correlation between educational attainment, earnings, and poverty. And that's another great things about Williamson County. Again, why education is so important to us in this community. In the last two slides, when you go and you download these from the website, it's a lot easier to see. But what this map shows, the darker the color, the more highly educated the community is. And you'll notice in Tennessee there's only one dark red, and that's in Williamson County. That dark red represents communities that have over 40% of their population that has a bachelor's degree. That's in 2009. You take a look at this next slide, same time in 2009, the lighter shaded areas are the ones with the lowest unemployment. So you can almost map these two, and you can look at the cities and communities in the country that have the highest educational attainment. Those are the ones that have the lowest unemployment. And I think what's so interesting about this graph too is you see this sea of blue, and then there's a really lightly shaded area. Those are the ones with the degrees. So again, that's why we do this. That's why education is so important, because that's what's going to really drive this economy in the future. Those communities that have educated population. So taking it back, we're an organization. We're known for connecting people, information, ideas, partnering for an educated workforce, developing strong leaders, making sure we are an influential business advocate when issues come up, and that we have top-tier economic development. And it really is about our core values, leadership, education, community, because it comes down to if we are able to have a strong economy, we know we're going to have strong members. So now I want to invite to the stage Pryor Manning with Nissan North America. Pryor has done an extraordinary job over the last few years working with the Chamber, working with Williamson County Schools and the business community as we think about what the next phase is in terms of job growth. It's going to be in IT. And for those kids that show an interest and aptitude, we want to do everything we can to expose them to these careers. And Pryor has worked tirelessly to make sure that's happened. He's going to talk a few minutes about a partnership that already exists with the schools and with the business community. Pryor?
So thank you, Matt. As Matt introduced, my name is Pryor Manning. I am a manager at Nissan in their Information Systems and Information Technology Group. And as he talked about in his intro, he wanted me to talk a little bit about what we're doing with Williamson County Schools around technology and getting students more interested in technology opportunities, both through high school and secondary, and hopefully they stay here for jobs. And it really starts with this, what is IT? And I will tell you this, what is IT was a logo that shows the partnership between the schools and business, and that there were 10 high school students who worked with a local business, Birdsong Creative, to put this logo together that we use to attract students and catch their attention. And as you would guess, IT stands for information technology. And that's important because, as the slide says, information technology is one of the fastest growing, highest paying, and because it's in demand, most secure job fields, in the country now and will be for the foreseeable future. And when you think of information technology, it's not limited to just a few sectors. It covers all spectrum of business, from manufacturing, obviously sales, brick and mortar business, agriculture, medical, you name it. Technology is having an impact on that business. So Nashville looked at this, really Middle Tennessee, Nashville and Williamson County looked at this about 12 years ago and said, we need to be a player in that game. So they put together this organization called the Nashville Technology Council. And the Nashville Technology Council, as this slide says, is devoted to helping our tech community succeed. And we want to make Middle Tennessee known worldwide as a leading technology community. So they've been working at this, and we're starting to see success with that. Forbes magazine last November had done a study to look at cities with the highest IT job growth rate, and Nashville was number 4. When you look at cities like Raleigh in the Research Triangle or San Francisco, Silicon Valley, for us to be up there number 4, competing with some of the larger cities, shows that we are attracting IT talent here and businesses that want to follow to take advantage of that IT talent. So we're doing all of the right things, but that's sort of a good thing, bad thing. We have more jobs that we need to fill. And why is that important? I think it's a very interesting quote from Gabe Newell, who founded Valve. Programmers of tomorrow are the wizards of the future. They are your rock stars. They're the ones that are going to create value in your company, new IP, intellectual property. They're going to allow your business to grow. And one way we're seeing that impact Middle Tennessee is right now there's 872 technology jobs open right now. And it stays between 800 and 1,000, has for the past year and probably will for the, for the foreseeable future. So we have a big challenge, but it's a good challenge to have because, as we said, those are high-paying jobs and very secure jobs. So the Nashville Technology Council partnered with Williamson County Schools and created a technology advisory board. And our goal is basically a marketing goal. We want to increase awareness for the students in Williamson County about the world of opportunities tied to technology careers. Most of them have their phones, everything's free, but letting them see what's behind the curtain to create all of that free stuff, they really don't have an awareness of, and there are great opportunities for them there. Some of the ways we're doing this, we put out a letter to every rising 9th grader for their high school showing what technology classes are available for them to take. We run a technology camp each year called First Camp. About 200 students attend, and they get to meet different business people to see what are the different technology opportunities are there. We do a professional development workshop for the counselors. We talk about what are the traits and skills that make somebody successful in technology, so as they look at registering those students for classes, they can move them in that direction if they have those traits and skills. In fact, we're doing one this afternoon for all of the counselors. And we've created a marketing brochure and a website for families and students so they can go and learn more about what are those opportunities out there. Sometimes, it gets lost in the shuffle, what the classes are described. We can help give them more data about what those opportunities are. So for us, IT really is the new MD. It used to be 10 years, 20 years ago, the glamour job was to be a doctor. In the future, it's going to be the IT jobs. As we said, they'll be the magicians for companies. Excuse me. So ultimately, how can you help with this? One of the things we want to do from a Williamson County School and an advisory board perspective is to tie businesses with teachers, a partnership, so that teachers can see how businesses are using technology in their business and hopefully incorporate that into their core curriculum to maybe get the students more excited and more aware of technology. So as we talk about the tie with education today, we are asking your help to look for those opportunities for you as a business to find a teacher that you can show her what you're doing from a technology perspective so she can use that to help get her students more excited. So thank you for the few minutes to sit and talk, and appreciate it. Thank you.
So thanks, Pryor. That's just one example of the partnerships we have going. I know when Jeremiah and I are meeting with companies about relocating to this area, the first and last question they ask is about talent. Can you find a top populated talent in this area? Can you relocate my existing talent? And can I attract talent from across the globe? And I'll never forget working with the company who said, Matt, we just couldn't get comfortable with the IT workforce in Middle Tennessee. There is a lack of depth and talent here. And through partnerships like this, we're hoping to address those kind of things. And it's not just for the companies, it's also for the students in our community who may be interested in this as a career, because this is not unique to Williamson County or Middle Tennessee. Everybody's facing this deficit. So I think it's up to us to make sure kids know who show this interest and aptitude, there are jobs and careers out there in the future for this kind of skill. And Pryor has done a fantastic job, along with other companies in Williamson County, Middle Tennessee, of making that case. So thank you, Pryor, for all the work you've done. So now I want to talk more about partnerships, and I want to invite Ken Farmer with Bancorp South, Denise Goodwin, Williamson County Schools Assistant Superintendent, and Hayden McWhorter at Williamson County Schools ambassadors to the stage for a check presentation to the Williamson County Schools, and a few remarks from Hayden as well.
I want to thank everybody for coming today. My name is Hayden McQuarter. I'm the Executive Vice President at W Squared. I am a Chief Information Officer, so technology is close and dear to my heart. Many of you, though, may know me from Race for the Cure, so I am representing today with my pink tie. Just want to make sure everybody sees that. I became involved with the Williamson County School Systems last year with their ambassador program. My wife and I decided to focus on things that will benefit our children in the future. The Race for the Cure, because many of you know I've had a loss in that area, and now in the school system on how we can help our girls know that in Brentwood they're getting the best education possible. Over the last year, what we've come to find through the ambassador program is that at every school we went to, technology was a lacking component at the schools. And what we mean by that is many people think of the school system here in Williamson County as Brentwood and Ravenwood and the families there. And what we had a chance to see as ambassadors are there's a lot of other schools in Williamson County that don't have the opportunity that maybe the folks in Brentwood and Ravenwood do. So my goal, my project with the ambassadors was to create a program called Feed the Cow. Dr. Looney and the school board last year put aside money to make sure that all the elementary schools had at least one cow set up. And a cow is 24 laptops and a mobile cart to carry them around. And what we wanted to do was to make sure that those carts were completely filled with laptops. So we had an initiative to feed the cow, which means we're adding 6 laptops to each of those carts. Now, just so you guys have an idea, and so I am asking for money today, so I'll throw that out, is that to fill all these carts is $64,000. So we're not talking about $1 million or $6 million. We're talking about $64,000 to allow our students to have access to technology in the classroom, to allow the teachers to have the opportunity to grab this technology and use it. What's really important and what you should understand is that in many schools, again, those kids do not have access to the technology at home. They may not have internet. They may not have a computer they can bring to class. That's one thing you should know. And the other is that there is a PARCC exam that will be in the 2014-2015 school year starting, that children, I think it's ages or grades 3 to 11, that the students will take via technology. So it'll be a computerized test. Our fear is that the students will know the information and not have the ability to participate or test well because they won't understand how to use a keyboard. So this isn't a tablet-based thing, this is a keyboard-based thing. So that was what brought Feed the Cow. Carol Birdsong and Deb Enright were instrumental in getting this going. And so what we've reached out to is to get people involved. So this is with the check presentation today. Yeah. By the way.
That's great. Thanks for the remarks, Hayden. You're exactly right. I had a chance to serve in the Williamson County Ambassadors Program initial class last year. And it's great because you do get a sense of Williamson County being more than just the I-65 corridor. So that was fantastic. Great remarks. Thank you, too, Ken, for the contribution. That's exactly the kind of partnerships we're going to talk about more later. So my job is to introduce Dr. Looney, and we both decided I'm not going to use his bio for remarks. No one needs to do that. But I will tell you that, it's about leadership. Everything's about leadership. And we learned through this process of 2 years going through unification for the chamber, it really does come to leadership. And we are so fortunate and blessed in Williamson County to have an extraordinary leader in Mike Looney, who understands the importance of high expectations, who understands the importance of leadership, of relentlessness, of pushing kids, of pushing parents to be better. And I think what's so great, when I hear Mike talk, he doesn't talk about how we relate to other districts in Tennessee. He talks about how we relate to the districts across the country and across the world. And that's exactly the kind of conversations we're having in economic development. We're no longer just competing with our neighbors, we're competing with the world. So I can't think of a better person to be at the helm of our most important asset in Williamson County than Mike Looney.
your work paid off, so much so that we're ranked #1 on last year's TCAP. #1 in the entire state of Tennessee. We live in a blessed community. We have so many wonderful things working to our advantage, and every year this school district continues to make great academic strides, not just as a result of the employees of Williamson County Schools, but as a result of the parental support that we get in Williamson County. It's because of the business community support in Williamson County. It's because of our elected officials' commitment that our ACT composite score has risen from a 23.1 to a 23.4.
My name is France Lorenz. I'm on the 2013 Brentwood High School State Champion Cross Country team.
She is the state winner of the Wendy's Heisman Award.
The newest Under Armour All-American, Mr. Weston.
Williamson County Schools received all A's in both academic achievement and in growth. And you can see on the chart behind me, the red A's are this year's state report card results.
Excited to have all the parents here. Nolensville has a supportive community, and I guarantee you we're going to have 400 people or more.
I came to be looking to be a nurse, and your minimum degree has to be 4 years of college. And
I was chosen natural sciences and creative and performing arts, so I'm interviewing Full-Type Theater and Booker Engineering.
We want to be known as the nicest high school in Williamson County, the nicest high school in Tennessee, the nicest high school in America, the nicest high school in the world. What if that was the possibility?
Today was a kickoff of the whole WCS Ladders of Hope program for the ACT.
I'm making sure that they have my major at that school.
We've got the largest fair, I think, in the state of Tennessee.
Of all the places that I go in Tennessee, I by far spend most time in Williamson County with the quality of the schools, the quality of the students.
We have been chosen as one of 34 schools nationally to represent Place 60. Our teachers wrote a grant, Mrs. Roon and Mr. Taylor, and we are going to be awarded a check today for $10,000.
Just to continue to stay active. You know, this is the world of technology these days. These kids can stay in house all day and play video games and watch TV, but the most important thing is to get out in the environment and get active.
Today, to be here with our wish kid Cody to grant his wish of going to Legoland in California. So we're having a big assembly. The whole school's here. His favorite color is green, so we're kind of having a green out. All the kids are dressed in green.
Today we're having Grandparents' Day, and it's very exciting because the children get to have significant others come and visit and see the classroom and see what they've been doing. And we have a great turnout. Most of the grandparents in my class have shown up. They've had a great time having their pictures made and showing their grandparents the building. So it's a great day. It's a wonderful time for everybody to get together. And school has changed a lot since these people were in school. And so it's great for them to come in and see actually what we're doing here.
I want to make a very, very important announcement. Raise your hand if you are a customer of Williamson County Schools right now. Great. Let me inform you that we are not closing school early today for snow. I think I've received 10,000 tweets while I've been sitting here, all from individuals 18 years or younger, informing me of the hazards of having snow flurries and treacherous driving. Let me begin by thanking several people. First, the reality of it is the school district is actually led by an elected body of 12 citizens from Williamson County. And we have many of our school board members here this afternoon, and I'd like for you to stand and please be recognized. There's going to be a slide that shows their wonderful picture and gives you their email address. If you need to contact any of our elected officials, you can do so by going to our website and clicking on School Administration, and there are direct connects emails to all of our school board members. We appreciate their leadership, and they have really set the standard for us in Williamson County as it relates to expectations. And that journey actually began a little bit more than 4 years ago now when we started working on a strategic plan together. Many of you participated in that process, so that's been guiding our work for the last several years. In addition to them, I want to recognize our PTO leadership. If you've heard me talk before, you probably have heard me mention the wonderful, amazing relationship that we have with our PTOs in our schools. And a couple of years ago, we decided to form a leadership team that will help organize the PTO efforts from all 41 schools across the district. And so we have our PTO leadership team here today. Ladies, if you'll please stand and be recognized. We also have several people from the central office here and from the schools, principals here, that actually do the work every day, and I just get to pretend like I'm in charge. So if you'll please stand and be recognized. Thank you. And I'm going to tell you, I know I'm an Alabama boy, so I learned a long time ago, make sure you take care of the most important person to your success every day. And that person happens to be in the audience today, and that's my executive assistant, Ms. Costa Morgan. Ms. Costa Morgan, would you please stand? Now, just like home, I do exactly what Costa tells me, and everything rolls very, very smoothly. And what I must confess to you today is Costa's birthday, and she turned 21 again. I don't know how that worked. So Costa, happy birthday to you. We're so proud and thankful for you. Today's theme of the presentation is going to be the Winter Olympics, and so I hope that you enjoy the theme of the presentation. Hopefully I'll be able to share some good information with you and then give you an ask at the end. Okay, so the theme of today is obviously the Winter Olympics. It's that time of year and it's an exciting time, and the reality of it is our Olympics looks a little bit different in Williamson County, but nonetheless we are competing in Williamson County against ourselves and against like districts across America. And we're competing in 3 different arenas. So each one of those gold medals that you see there represent one of the 3 arenas that we're competing in. The first being the most obvious, and that is academic achievement. How are we performing academically as a school system? I hope to relay that information to you today and then contextualize it, not only how we compare in Tennessee, but how we compare on a more global scale. We also work to compete in the arts. We understand in Williamson County that it's important to teach the whole child, to try to grow all aspects of children's education, academics, the arts, and then finally athletics. Everybody loves a good Friday night football game, right? Right? I can tell that our ticket sales haven't been what they should be, and we'll have a conference afterwards. I will sell season tickets at a discount, so I'm going to give you my contact information to accomplish that goal. Every audience that I speak to, including your children, I give my contact information out. I know, my last name's Looney, so forgive me. I do give my cell phone number out, and it does ring. I don't get that many prank calls because I have a tendency to call students back when they do that and ask to speak to their parents. So I think news has spread. But if you want to contact me directly, my cell phone number is listed there. You can also contact my office through Costa Morgan. Email me, there's my email address, and then follow me on Twitter. How many of you use Twitter? You should, because if you have children or grandchildren, I promise you they are. And it's amazing what they tweet. Sometimes surprising and shocking, but most of the time just funny. I also want to make sure that you know how to reach out to our school system and how to stay informed about what's happening in the district. We have one primary method of communicating externally, and that's through our In Focus newsletter. It's a subscription-based newsletter. All you have to do is go to our website, click on the icon that says In Focus, enter your email address, and the rest of it is just passive reading on your part. We throw in there some really cool video links of happenings in the district, some highlights of students and teachers, all the data that we can muster to give you, and updates about the school system. So please consider following us on In Focus. That is our primary method of communicating. We also are on Facebook, so we welcome you to like us on Facebook. Our web address is there, and then finally the district tweets. In fact, we are live tweeting right now. Where are we as it relates to academics? I'm going to share with you 2 slides as it relates to our academic achievement, but I want to just give you the broad brush stroke. There is nobody in the Southeast that compares academically to Williamson County Schools' achievement in grades 3 through 8. Nationally, we don't have a measuring stick that's the same across school districts and states. So we don't have a fair comparison in grades 3 through 8, but we do know, as Matt was showing you the scattered plot where you wanted to be in the top right-hand side, if you look at Williamson County in grades 3 through 8, we're as far to the top and right as you can get. That's our achievement results in reading, math, science, and social studies. This graph shows you 3 years of data over the course of the last 3 years. And you can see in the area of reading, we've gone from 77% students proficient in advanced to 83. Math, we've gone from 65 to 76. And I won't read the rest of them, but you can see for yourself. The trend is obviously getting stronger. The data is pointing in the right direction. So we have a lot to be proud of where we've come from, but we also have a lot of positive data that leads us to believe that this pattern is going to continue for the years to come. Williamson County has the highest ACT scores that is ever posted. Last year's average ACT, we test 100% of our juniors, that's where this comes from. The average composite score was 23.4. Testing 100% of our students. Now, there are only 9 states in America that test 100% of its students. We happen to be one of those 9. When we unpack our data and we look in those 9 states and we identify their highest performing school districts that have similar size and similar demographic, there is only one school district that outperforms us. And that's an Illinois district. However, when you unpack their scores and their data, you'll find that they spend in excess of $30,000 per pupil compared to our $8,000 per pupil. Their average teacher salary is $105,000 a year when ours is in the mid-40s. So I'm very, very proud of our students and our teachers' results as it relates to the ACT. Let me give you, thank you so much. Well, if you thought that was good, hang on. If you'll look to the right-hand side of that graph, that red bar on the very end, that's actually this year's cohort. So the students in their senior year this year have actually outperformed last year's graduating class by 1/10, and it's only December, or it was December when they took the test. We still have 2 more testing periods to go. So what I'm saying is this: while last year we had the highest ACT composite score ever in Williamson County, I already know that this graduating cohort has outperformed last year's cohort. So if you look at the trend data moving up, it appears to us that our trend data continues to move in a positive direction, and the score continues to go higher and higher and higher. In fact, the board has a goal in its strategic plan of an average composite score of 24. And we feel it, we smell it, we can taste it. Victory, the gold medal, is nigh. It really is. So congratulations to our students. However, I want to focus on what's really important, because it's really not about the data. You see, our work is really about kids. So I want to put some faces to the data. I want you to know that our story is not about how we achieve on an exam. It's about the students that every single day, regardless of their home environment or whether they're sick or not, or whether they had a headache yesterday or not, come to school relentlessly and work and give us their best effort. So our ACT data is good, but you need to know there's kids behind that data, and this just happens to be one of them. This is Gerald Raines. He scored a 36 perfect score on the ACT. I think he has college options. Just saying. Speaking of college options, last year's graduating cohort, think about this. Last year's graduating cohort earned $112 million plus in scholarships. $112 million plus. Our budget was $240 million last year. We almost earned 50% of it back in scholarships for kids. If that's not cool, I don't know what is, y'all. I'm just telling you. Okay, we know that academics is important, and it's one of the things that sets us apart. But we also have a goal of setting ourselves apart in the arts. And I don't know if you've heard the Franklin High School Band. Any Rebel fans in here? There we go. These folks are on a national stage. They're bringing home the gold. In fact, we have bands at the middle school. Hillsborough Middle School is another example. We have bands from the middle school through the high school that compete regularly and bring home the gold on a national level. And we do it at $8,000 a year versus $38,000, and lots of great support from families and booster clubs and that sort of thing. But this too, as amazing as it is, there's a story behind that. Let me introduce you to Nicole. Nicole is a student at Summit High School, and she won a national award, the Golden Key Award, for her painting there. If you've ever been at one of our art fairs, if you've ever been to the building in Nashville, it is amazing, Frisk Center. It is amazing the artwork that you can see that's made by Williamson County students. Well, since we're going to be all buying football tickets this season, Let's talk about the athletics. This is the Brentwood High School girls. They won it all in the volleyball area. But we continuously win state and national awards as it relates to athletics in Williamson County schools. Trying to put a face to our athletic accomplishments. This is Wesley from Ravenwood, and he is All-American Under Armour Award winner. The reason I'm trying to focus on students is this. We've got 34,000 of them. We're going to grow by 1,000 next year. And another 1,000 or 2 the year beyond that. And a couple more thousand the year beyond that. Our projections align to the projections of Williamson County population growth. We're going to need more teachers, more coaches, more dancers, more singers, more principals, more drivers, more nurses, to meet the demands that we have for our schools in the near future. This spring, we're going to be going to the county commission, and we're going to go there with our hats in hand. And we're going to say we would like to build 2 new schools in the Nolensville area to deal with the growth. And if they see fit to come up with the money, then in 2015, we'll open a K-8 facility. And in 2016, we'll open a high school in the Nolensville area. And that is just the beginning of a new building trend that you'll see in Williamson County schools to deal with the growth that's coming. Despite the fact that we're a very, very high achieving school district, if we were to do a SWOT analysis right now, we've identified some of our strengths. Our strengths are our people. The strengths of this district is not who the superintendent is, as much as I would like to believe that to be true. The reality of it is, the strength of our school district is you. It's you, ladies and gentlemen. It's the people that might not necessarily be in the trenches day in and day out doing the work. That's the hero teachers that do the work, right? But it's the people that support the teachers, that allow the teachers to have the resources that they need. It's the people that allow us to hire the teachers and reward the teachers and recognize the teachers to do their work. Teaching is an amazing profession. Last week I was at a high school and I was talking to a young man and his mother with his teacher about dropping out of high school. And the lengths that teacher went to keep that student in school is nothing short of amazing. Nothing short of amazing. And that teacher feels that she could do that because she believes that this community has her back. So thank you for having our back. Thank you for supporting public schools. Not everybody has a 36 ACT. Not everybody can sing eloquently or paint. And not everybody can run on a football field on Friday night and score a bunch of touchdowns. So the question becomes, how do we support those students that can't do that? And I want to close this segment by focusing your attention on the Facebook picture to my left, perhaps to your right. Anybody know Hunter? If you don't know Hunter, you should. Hunter's a student from Independence High School that was a wrestler. He suffered a a very odd accident while he was wrestling and is essentially paralyzed. And so we have banded together as a school community, as a broader community, to support Hunter. Hunter's undergoing rehabilitation therapy in Atlanta, Georgia. And so there is a hashtag. Hashtag, everybody know that? Hashtag Hunter Strong. And so I encourage you to like Hunter's Facebook page. And I'm going to ask all of you to give a big shout out to Hunter before we leave here today. And I'm going to ask Carol Birdsong to take a picture of that. And I'm going to email that to Hunter and to his family. And I'm going to tell him all the members of the Williamson County Chamber are here to support Hunter. So, but the last thing that I'm going to do is we're going to do a high five or something for Hunter. So going back to how do we take our dreams, our Olympic dream in Williamson counties to the next level. And here's what your teachers, not what the superintendent says, but here's what your teachers say. I need to understand how to make learning relevant in the classroom for students. And we talked about, well, what does that look like? And here's what we've come up with. Internships. It's important for students to know what the real world is like so that when they leave high school, they have a pretty good understanding of what a real work day looks like, how you apply math and why English is important, et cetera, et cetera. And so one of the ideas that we have is for our community to offer our high school students internships. Another idea that we came up with is this notion that teachers often went straight from high school to college and then to the classroom. And perhaps they can't teach relevance because they don't fully understand why it's relevant in the real world. So this notion of externships came to the forefront. What if teachers were able to spend time in the business community understanding what it is that you do and how it relates to their work in the classroom so that when they do teach the boys and girls, they do so in a relevant way. Those are two, I think, really, really good ideas that could really quickly get some meat on the bone. So with that being said, the Chamber has been working intently on partnering with us. And on your program today, I don't have my reading glasses, but in the center section on the bottom right-hand side, you will see that there's a QR code there. And if you were to scan that QR code, you would find a survey linked to it. And the survey would ask you, from your perspective, how can you connect with us? How is it that your business can connect with students, with your future employees, and with our teachers that are working in the trenches so that we can build relevance in the work that we do every single day in the classroom? The one thing that we all have in common in this room, every single one of us, is we all went to school. And because we all went to school, we also have two other common experiences: boredom and rigor. Boredom in the classes that we could not find relevance to our lives, and rigor in the classes where the teachers just pushed and cajoled and prodded and sometimes kicked to get us to learn more. So our aspiration, our goal, is to wipe out those classes where we can't find relevance through support and partnerships such as you, and to focus more on adding rigor to all of our classrooms. With that being said, I want to close with this. I honestly believe, as good as this school district is, and as much as we've accomplished together, the water level hasn't even approached the top of the glass. We're not about to have a problem of our water running over the top of the glass. We still have a long way to go. But I'm absolutely convinced, ladies and gentlemen. I'm convinced. I feel it in my gut. That's how old Alabama's saying, isn't it? I feel it in my gut. This school district is on the precipice of greatness. We just needed a little bit more. And today, whether it's through Feed the Cow, whether it's by letting a high school accounting student come and sit with your bookkeeper to learn how it works in the real world, or whatever it might be, if we just have a little bit, just a little bit more, then, my good banker friend, you're going to be making lots of construction loans. And my realtors in the house, you're going to be selling a lot of real estate. And my college friends, you're going to have a lot of students knocking on your door asking for an opportunity to take it to the next level. We're blessed in Williamson County. We have some of the most amazing students I have ever seen on planet Earth right here at home. They're gifted, they're tenacious, they're funny, they're hardworking. They're a challenge. They push me sometimes. I wouldn't have it any other way. Our teachers are incredible. They do amazing things. I go by a school on a Friday night and there's cars there at 8 and 9 o'clock at night. They're not there because they're getting paid for it. They're getting it because they are absolutely relentless to make sure that your children, that this community's children, gets everything available for our students so that they can be successful. Our leadership team at the school level, we got fantastic principals that just are relentless and have a take no prisoners mentality. And finally, we have an amazing support system in Williamson County. You, the chamber, the citizens, the moms and dads. That's what's so special about Williamson County. Thank you so much for letting me tell you a little bit about Williamson County. Before I close, Carol, I want you to come up here with a camera up on stage. Now, Hunter, I assure you, thrives on attention. He does. He loves it. So I want you to give Hunter some love. Y'all show Hunter some love. Somehow, high five, jump, hoot, whatever you want to do.
Thanks, Mike. That was fantastic. And you know, the story about the student from Nolensville and the teacher doing everything they could to keep them in school, that's when it takes a graph and a chart off the PowerPoint slide and puts it and makes it real. So thank you for your speech. Thank you for your kind words. And the future of this community is absolutely tied in success to the future of the school district, and we can never forget that. In addition to scanning the QR code, you're actually going to get this emailed to you. It actually probably just happened at 1 o'clock. So you're going to get this survey emailed to you. It's going to go to all the membership. So those who are able to participate, able to help, we'd love to have you. You'll get an email back, a phone call back to follow up. And we think this is a great initiative. It's a great way to kick off the year, and we can't thank you enough with the school system for your support. I know it's 1 o'clock. We just got a couple more things, and then you'll be dismissed. At everybody's table in the centerpiece is a flyer for our first quarter signature event, Outlook Williamson. Make sure that you block off that time, March 25th from 7:30 to 11. It's going to be a fantastic program. You're going to learn about development here locally. You're going to see how we compare nationally from a national site consultant. Then you're going to hear from people who do economic development every day. But it really is a way for our membership to help them plan for 2014 and it'll provide the tools to help their companies grow. So it's March 25th, Outlook Williamson. All our meetings and events are online at our new website, williamsonchamber.com. Thank you again so much for coming and for your investment in Williamson County.